Welcome to another episode of Book Covers DIY. Ever wonder what not to do when designing a book cover? I've deliberately created a book cover using some of the most common design mistakes I often see. So, if you're ready to see the magic of design in action, hit that subscribe button and join us for our very first Makeover Monday. So here we are on canva.com. This is the free design website we use for all of our book cover designs. I'm going to click on my most recent design, which is the one we are going to be making over today. Here is our fake book. It is a modern day romance set in New York City. And this is not anyone's design. This is a design that I came up based on a lot of the common mistakes I see in other people's designs. I didn't want to put someone's real book cover on here because I never want to make anyone feel bad about something they have invested a lot of time or money into. So I took some of those common mistake elements I see very often in, let's say, amateur or self-published book covers, and I created this design based on some of those elements. So now before we get started on redesigning this, let's go ahead and talk about some of those elements. Well, the first thing you see is that this cover is kind of chaotic. We've got a lot of things going on. We've got, our couple here surrounded by these stars, which these stars, if you can see, they're kind of pixely. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. See, they're not that great. Then we have like this cartoonish moon up here. And then let me zoom back out. And then we have, our couple of these kind of floating heads. And we have our backdrop of the city here. We have the Empire State Building about to like pierce his chin. And then we have this very cartoonish taxi cab down here. Which I just kind of made up a story in my head that maybe either they meet in a cab, they share a cab ride somewhere, or usually like those Hallmark movies where she's like a big city, important businesswoman and he's like a cabbie. So some kind of like, opposite world story, something like that. So we have this very cartoonish cab down here. And then in the middle, we have the title, which is Star-Crossed in the City. It's very hard to read. The C and R are almost kind of looking like a G. And then we have this very plain, let me see what this is, Canva Sans, which is, I always tell you guys, do not leave your font as Canva Sans. And I think this might be, Canva Sans as well. Which this is not so bad when you have the lowercase, but it's very hard to see. And then we have even more stars down here. I would say overall it's got way too many elements, way too many things going on. So we're going to get started with our makeover. Now I did create a rule for myself as I do these makeovers. The main rule is I need to keep at least 3 elements from the original. So I don't want to change anything on this original. I actually want to duplicate this entire cover and work on that one. And the way to do that is you should be able to come right above the cover and you have some icons here. This middle one says duplicate page. I'm going to click on that. And so now it says page 2 and we have the exact same design as on page 1. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm only working on page 2. I don't want to destroy anything on page 1. That way in the end, we can download them both and compare them side by side. Okay, so now we have to decide what 3 elements we are keeping from this. Since it is called Star-Crossed in the City, I'm going to go ahead and keep this city backdrop. And because we want readers to know it's a romance novel, I'll go ahead and keep the couple's faces. And you know what? I'll keep this, let me see this background. Yeah, this sort of sunset background. I'll go ahead and keep that as well. So that'll be 3, the city, the couple, and the background. Okay, everything else has got to go. So let's start with this cartoon cab. I'm going to click on it and click the little trash can. Let's delete this Canva Sans. Canva Sans. I mean, I like this font. It's just it's a little bit difficult to read from a distance because remember, your book is always going to be shrunken down to a thumbnail image no matter where you have it listed. And this as a thumbnail is going to be very hard to read. So let me delete that. Definitely want to delete these little sad little stars. So let me, you know what? I can click them all at once. So if I clicked one, hold down Shift, and I will just click on everything I don't want. Delete. And this cartoon moon. Delete. Okay, so we should have 3 items left. Our background, our sunset background, our ghost couple, and our city. 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are the items we are keeping, and these are the items I have to work with in order to make over this design. Okay, so let's start by getting these people out of the sky. So I think I'm going to bring them down, and I'm going to move the city up. I'm actually going to make the city small for right now. Okay, the first thing I want to do, I like this sunset, but I don't like that it changes from this orange, because it kind of looks like a fire down here, and then it turns to like a blue pink sky. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stretch it. Let me actually, if you see down here, there is your zoom bar. I'm going to zoom out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it until we mostly just see the red orange. But I'm going to kind of bring it, center it. I want to see how much I can stretch it. Okay, I'm going to keep stretching it, guys. Okay, there we go. I wanted it all red orange. Now let me center it. Okay, it's centered. So you can see how I completely changed the background just by stretching it or repositioning it. All right, so let me click off to the side and we will zoom back in. Okay, this actually felt very much like two different book cover designs, like one down here with the orange and the city, and then one up here with the pink and the blue and the couple. And it just felt like very disconnected. All right, now there's something else I want to do with this background before we move on over to these elements. And that is I want to add a vignette. So I'm going to come over here to Elements, and I'm just going to type in vignette. Okay, and then we're going to click under the category of graphics, see all. Okay, so we have a variety of vignettes. There's some that are white and some are black, gray. This one's almost like I don't know if that's a yellow or green. I think it's a green. And so what they do is, again, they're going to add color or shading around the four corners, or sometimes just the top and the bottom, like this one here. Now, you can see some of these have crowns, which means they are features of Canva Pro. If you wanted to filter those out, you can just come up here to the search box, and there's some little bars there. You can go down to price and click on free, and it's going to filter out anything that had the crown. I have Canva Pro, so I'm going to uncheck that. And I think I want to use this one here. It is just a bottom one, but I'm going to show you how we can use it for both the top and the bottom. So I'm going to click on it, and here it is. You can see, I'm going to bring it up here so you can see what it does. It's just add some black shading or shadows to the bottom and a little bit to the corners as well. I'm going to stretch it out to this right size. Okay, so I want to add this to the bottom of our book cover design. So you can see right here, it is now darkened that area. Now, and I want to add the same thing to the top. I clicked on it, and then I'm going to click on duplicate and made a second one, but I want it to shade the top. So what I'm going to do is go over here to flip, and I want to click on flip vertical. And when I flip it vertical, you're going to see that the shaded area is going to flip up to the top. Okay, so did you see that? So now we have a vignette at the top and the bottom. And guys, that will definitely, punch up, enhance your book cover immediately to make it more professional. All right, now we got to deal with our ghost couple and our city. Okay, I think I want to do the opposite. We have this ghost couple see-through, and then we have our city very bold. I think I actually want to do the opposite. Let's click on our couple, and then we should be able to come up here to this little checkerboard. That is the transparency. If we click in there, yeah, see, they were at 65. They weren't at the full color. So when you slide this, look, you can see they get darker. This is how the original photo was. And as you slide it to the left, you can see they get more and more see-through. I want to leave them at 100 at their full opacity. Okay, so now the couple is going to be prominently featured, and the city needs to take the backdrop. So now we're going to click on the city, and we're going to go back to that checkerboard and see the city is at 100. I want to bring that one down to, maybe we'll try 70. See how that looks. All right, so here is our city. And here's our couple. What I don't want is I don't want this line here. See how the same way we had this just kind of cut off line? I don't want that with the city. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the couples larger. I'm trying to cover up this. You know what? I need to make the city. I might need to make the city larger too. You know what? I'm going to bring the couple all the way down so that they kind of blend into that vignette we added. Okay, and I'm going to stretch them even larger. All right, so there's our couple. Now let me click on our city, and I want to make that slightly larger as well. All right, that is looking pretty good. I want to make sure that our vignette is in the front. Yes, our vignette is in the front. If your vignette was not in the front, you could come up here to position and click on layers. Everything that is at the top of sort of this list is their top layer. So here's the top vignette, the bottom vignette, and the couple. If for some reason your vignette was behind the couple, it would probably look like this, and all you would have to do is come to this layer section and bring the couple behind it. Same thing if for some reason your city was kept being on top of them like this and it's showing like the little windows, that means that you need to fix your layers. So you would go again to position and you would just switch these up. So we want the couple in front, the vignettes need to be in front of everything, then your couple, then your city, then your background. Okay, so this is already looking so much better, isn't it? We've only changed a few things and look how much more professional it is looking and less chaotic. Okay, I do want to add sort of a glow around this couple. So let's click on the couple. We're going to come up here to edit image and let's try photogenic. Here's where we are right now, none. We can try a few of these. Okay, so here's different categories. Natural, warm. I know they all look just the same to you probably, but they do have different tones. Like these are natural, warm, cool, vivid, soft. So let me show you, like, let's say we clicked on this soft one. It kind of, it's going to fade them a little bit, see? Which I don't want because I want them to stand out, but I just wanted to show you what it would look like. Like when I click on the cool ones, you'll notice that, see, his neck turns sort of like a bluish and we lost that orange highlight on her hair. But if we stay in the warm, I see how it kind of adds a little bit of gold on his neck, her lips, her hair. That's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to reflect the background in the highlights. I'm going to stick with this Belvedere and then I'm going to click on apply. So you can see we have these sort of orange fiery highlights around them that reflects, you know, the sunset behind them. All right, so now let's add, let's see, what else did we have? I think we can go ahead and add a moon and some stars. So let's go back to elements. Last thing I searched for was vignette, so I'm going to click the X to clear that. And now let's look for a moon. I'm going to click on graphics, see all. Do I want a full moon? Let's see, we have a full moon there. This full moon looks much better because it's not as cartoony, but I kind of like this one here that's just a crescent moon. Let's see. Okay, this moon is a little bit too, you know, outer space. It doesn't blend well with this flat city. So let's go ahead and delete that one. This one works much better because it's also flat. It has a nice glow around it. I'm wondering if I want to change that glow. Okay, so let's click on that moon and let's go to edit image and let's go back down to that photogenic and see what kind of different glows. See, these glows are going to be like, this is going to make it orange. I don't want it that orange. Okay, so here's the original and I kind of want to increase the glow around it. Maybe this vivid right here, chroma. Okay, so it just sort of softened the moon and added more of a glow around it. So I'm going to click apply and I'm going to kind of zoom out. Okay, so that's looking much better than this cartoon moon up there. Okay, so let's see, let's go ahead and add some stars, but definitely not those stars that are up there. Stars. Okay, so here's shapes. I don't want shapes, I want graphics. I'm going to click on see all. Okay, and we just want some soft stars, not like this is what was on there before. These are kind of okay, but they're going to compete with the moon, and I don't want them to. Let me see what these look like. These are okay, but I don't know if you can tell they have sort of a fog in front of them, so I don't want those. Okay, do you see that some of these are animated, like this one right here? To get rid of those in your results, come back up to your filters and go down to animation. We want to click on static and then click off to the side, and you can see it removed those sort of like twinkling stars. We don't want any animated stars. I just want some kind of plain. Let me see what these look like. I kind of like these, but they're yellow. But since there is a color box over here, that means I can change the color. If you don't see a color box over here, it means that the graphic cannot be changed. So let me click on there and see how it'll look with. Okay, so that is pure white. I don't think I want the pure white. Okay, so let's say we want to match them with the moon color. Let's click on this little rainbow box with the plus in the middle. And then we're going to take our eyedropper tool and place it over the moon. And then we're going to click on there, and now it matched it. So you can see here's where it was before, pure white. And now it's just sort of this off white. Okay, I think that looks pretty good because the book is called Star-Crossed, so we would want to have some stars. I want to move this moon, but I can't because the stars are on top of it. So what I need to do is come up to position again and make sure you're on the layers tab. Sometimes when you click on position, you'll be on the arrange tab. Just switch over to layers and see the moon is beneath the stars. I need to drag it to the top. So now if I want to move the moon around, I can. So now we need to add our book title. So I'm going to come over here to our toolbar and click on text. And I'm going to click on add a heading. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to type in Star-Crossed, and let's see. Okay, so now we need to find a font that we can read. So I'm going to come up here to Canva Sans. Please never use Canva Sans. Well, I mean, unless you're, just maybe your author name. It doesn't look so bad here. This like Dana Reed. But please don't use it in your title like this. And I see this so often where people do so much work on their design and then they'll just slap on this really plain, boring, bad font. Don't do that. So let's come up here to Canva Sans and we're going to get all of our different fonts. Some of them have the crowns for Canva Pro, but there are many, many choices that are free. I do want to stick with a cursive one like we had on the first version. So I'm just going to go through here until I find one that I like. Okay, so that one looks pretty nice, but let's see what else there is. That one's called Angeletta. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. This one is called Playlist Script. Okay, I'm probably going to put it up here, but one thing I forgot on the stars. Let's click on the stars. And I want to make those, I want to lower the opacity on those. So let's move the words down here. Okay, so let's make sure we're clicked on the stars. We're going to go up to our little checkerboard and there's our transparency. Let's actually lower the transparency on the stars so they're not so bright. See what 70 looks like. Maybe 70. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, so we're going to put Star-Crossed right here. And to help the words stand out, I'm going to add a shadow. So while the text box is checked, let's come up here to Effects, click on there. And there's several options. Let's see, we have shadow, lift, there's lift. See, it makes like a kind of a dark overall shadow behind it. Let's see, here's before and after. I think I'm going to go with regular shadow, which see kind of, let me zoom in so you can see what it does. So it kind of like doubles it, but it usually defaults to just a lighter version of whatever the font color is. So I want to change that. I want to make the shadow match the color in our couple. So to do that, you click on the add a new color, take the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to put it in the girl's hair where it's a little bit reddish brown. So it changed it, and then I'm going to come up here and increase the transparency. So see, look, here's full color 100. Let me zoom in some more. If you look at the words, do you see the shadow, how far it is away from the letters? If you come over here to offset, this first slider, and let's see, as I increase the number, it gets further away from the letters. And then, let's see, I think it was like at 50. I'm going to actually bring it down to maybe 40. I just want it closer to the letters. All right, and then I think I'm going to change the color from pure white. Let me zoom out again. Let me see how it looks if I change it to maybe the color in the moon. So I'm going to come up here to text color, and let's take our eyedropper tool and let's come over here into the moon. And see, again, it just changes it to a very off-white. Okay, now we need to add another text box because remember it's called Star-Crossed in the City. So let's come over here and click on Add a Subheading. And I'm going to type in the city. And again, it's in the Canvas Sans. We want to change that. This time I want to stick with a sort of a block font since we already have a cursive font for Star-Crossed. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through here and look for something that looks kind of good, something like that. Let's see. I want something tall and skinny to help complement the building. See how the buildings are tall and skinny. And by choosing a font like that, it just kind of helps keep everything cohesive. But I want it to be bold. So when you choose your font, if you see a little arrow next to it, you can click on there, and that means that there are other options within that font. So here it's regular, there's medium, and there's bold. I'm going to choose bold. Okay, so you can see right here, Canva does this really cool thing. Anytime you choose a photo or upload a photo, it will create a color palette from that photo. So here's our sky, and here's the colors that were found in the sky. This, of course, includes those purples and pinks that we kind of cropped out of the background. But here's the couple, so we have the dark shades as well as this sort of a reddish brown that we see near the top of her head. And then this is just the black from the vignette. I'm going to see what it looks like if I choose this sort of reddish brown. Then there's a darker, let me see how that looks. Let me zoom out slightly. No, it blends in too much. We need to keep that with the same as the other. Okay, let's go with that off-white that we've already been using. Okay, and I also want to add a shadow to that. So let's go over to our effects and shadow, and we want to change the color. I think this is the same color. Want to increase the transparency to 100. Now that stands out. I want to make the title slightly larger and bring it down some. Bring it in the city up. And I want to bring this moon down as well. Just kind of fill in that blank space there between those buildings. And I'm also going to adjust the city. So I'm going to bring that down slightly and make sure it's between that C and that R. Okay, I'm curious if we change the color slightly of in the city. Let me come up here to the text color, and I'm going to choose this color, sort of a yellowish white. And I want to see what it looks like if we do the same to Star-Crossed. Okay, I'm liking that a lot better. So I'm going to do the same with the stars, change those as well. Okay, that looks much better. See, the entire book cover just has a very warm tone to it. So it did look a little bit out of place to have that white font. So I just changed that to this sort of cream off-white color. And that looks so much better. It really blends in with the moon and the stars and everything. It also blends in sort of with these colors down here. Okay, so now we need to add our author name. Again, I was going to just click on in the city, and then I'm going to duplicate that and bring that down. And what was the author name? Was Dana Reed. Let's just type that in, Dana Reed. And then I'm going to make it smaller. And I want to decide, do I want it centered? Let's see how it looks centered. I don't like that. Let's see if we put it over here in this sort of black void, a lot of negative space right there. Maybe bring it down slightly. Okay guys, I think we're about done with this. You can see how much better it looks than the original. I'll show them to you full size in a second once we download them, but let's take a glance at them in the grid view. This is going to show them sort of a preview of the thumbnail version. So you can see here's the original, and then here's our updated version. I do want to do something else. Okay, I'm going to do something that totally breaks my own rule about changing something, but I just want to show you that you can also change one more thing and give it a totally different look. So I'm going to come right above here, this page 2, and I'm going to actually duplicate this page. So now we have a page 3 with our new design. And I just want to show you one more thing we could do. I have an idea in my head that will give you actually a third version of this. And this time I'm going to break the rule. I'm going to get rid of the couple. So make sure you're on page 3 if you do something like this. I'm going to delete the couple. And I'm going to bring the city all the way down and make it larger. I had an idea to do something and I want to show you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring the opacity or the transparency all the way up on the city till it's pure black at 100%. And then there was something I wanted to do. Let's see, I'm going to go to Elements. And I'm going to look for a couple silhouette. There's one right there. Okay, so here we have some, I kind of like this one here. There's several of them. This is probably a bride and groom. They're holding hand. Okay, I think I like this one right here. Okay, so you can see we have a black silhouette. I'm going to come up here to change that. And I just want to change it to the color we've already been using, this sort of cream off-white. And I'm going to bring them way down here. Make sure they're centered. And click off to the side. And maybe, let me see if I want to leave the moon there. Maybe I'll move the moon a little bit more. Okay, and then here the little windows are stark white. I want to change those to match as well. We should do that on the previous one too. Let's see, let's go back. Well, they are already kind of off-white because we lower the opacity, but I'll go ahead and do that as well. Okay guys, so you can see here is another version. All I did was get rid of the couple and replace it with the silhouette of a couple. You still get the idea of what's going on, that it's a romance between a guy and a girl in the city. Same thing here. So let's download all 3 of these and check them out side by side. To do that, we're going to come up here to Share, Download. It defaults to PDF standard, but since I'm just going to show these to you, we're not going to be printing them. I'm just going to select PNG, and yes, I want all 3 pages. So I'm going to download, and it's just going to take a few minutes, or a few seconds actually. It's going to be a zip file because all 3 are in there, so let's see. Okay, so here are 3 images. Let me click on each one and we'll compare them side by side. Okay, so let's start by just taking a look at our first 2 versions. Okay, so here is our sort of chaotic original version where it's kind of split in 2. It looks like almost like 2 different books in one. We have our romance book up here, and then we have our city and our cab down here. Again, this had way too much going on, too many stars. Also too many different styles, you know, kind of cartoony and then realistic. And it just was not cohesive. The colors are not cohesive. And then we have these, you know, floating ghost heads above the city, which is kind of weird. And then just by changing up a few things, we recropped the background. So we only showed the fiery orange sky. We added a vignette to the top and the bottom. We added some better quality stars, much smaller. We changed them to an off-white, and we kind of faded them into the sky. We have our moon with its, you know, sort of a yellowish glow. We made the city sort of a faded backdrop. We brought the couple to the front since the main story is about them. Instead of having them see-through, we just added a nice warm glow to them that complemented the backdrop. We have our new font that you can easily read in that nice, soft, warm color as well. We have In the City and a font that's tall and skinny that helps complement the buildings, which are also tall and skinny. So you can see how easy it is to, you know, make over your cover design. Let's say you have an old book on Amazon, it's not getting any traction. Go back and look at it. Go look and see if, you know, maybe you need to create a better cover, a more attractive cover for it. That might be the issue. Okay, so now let's see, let's go ahead and move that one over, and then we'll take a look at the 3rd version. This, of course, is the one where I did break my own rule. I have 2 of the 3 elements, but I just wanted to show you how you can change it even further by just switching up maybe your main photo. All I did here was enlarge the city and put it back to full color. I increased the opacity to 100% so it is jet black. And then I just switched up our couple. Instead of having these, kind of large shadowed heads, I made them a silhouette. And they still stand out very well against this jet black background. So you still know it's a love story or a romance by this little silhouette. So what I would do is I would actually make 2 new versions like we did here, and then present them to your readers or followers and have them vote on your next book cover. And I actually have a video on this showing you how to create a social media graphic. I'll put the link in the description box below. Now, if you'd like more tips and tricks for designing a professional looking book cover, then head on over to our website, bookcovers-diy.com, and grab the free ebook I created just for you. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Designing an Eye-Catching Book Cover. Inside, you'll uncover secrets and tips that'll take your cover game to the next level. I've included color photos for inspiration, and there's even a fantastic bonus checklist to ensure your masterpiece gets the attention it deserves in the marketplace. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, this free guide is packed with insights you won't want to miss. And if you're still not sure your book cover is quite ready for the marketplace, then while you're there on bookcovers-diy.com, click on Design Services at the top because I'm now offering book cover design critiques. I will personally analyze and offer valuable tips and feedback to enhance your book cover design. And if you just don't want to bother with designing your own book cover at all, I'm also offering both ebook and paperback print book cover design options. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's makeover video. If you did, please let me know in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to update you about future videos. So thanks again for watching, liking, and subscribing. Until next time, bye-bye.